and all the processes being moved in a direction that's causing confusion for those who are not in the truth. Even some who claim to be in the truth are quite confused by bringing out messages and lessons that don't match up with the prophetic timeline that we're dealing with at this moment. And that shows you the level of confusion that and contention that's in the body of Hamashiach. Okay. All right. Let's see. In the 20, where is the wise question? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of the world? Hath not Yahawah made foolish the wisdom of the world? Of course he has. You see that now. They're even bugged out over the fact that when they see the chariots show up, they don't know what to do. They have no idea how to function and operate when the chariots do show up. So you can see that being the case also right at this particular time. And so I love it because I love the fact that the Most High is amazing in the things that he's doing and the way that he's doing it, boy. It just blows my mind when he gets to that point. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what we're dealing with at this point in time, and I love it. I love this type of opening up of the value of the knowledge that YAHAWASHI is showing in the prophetic movement forward, because that's what it's all about right now, right? Okay, now we're going to go to so that was in 1 Corinthians 11, and we took a little bit there. So we're going to go to John. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 14. I want to go there. All right. So I'm going to pull something from John 14 and 15. John 14 and 15. I like when Hamashiach brings it out. If ye love me, you keep my commandments. Hamashiach is clearly letting you know. Those who love him keep his commandments, which means you're practicing the righteous acts to the best of your ability here in captivity. And this is what you're supposed to do, right? And here's the thing. Let me read the next one after that. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth not him, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth within you and shall be in you. Right? So you see, that's operating within the body of the Hamashiach. This is what we're talking about. This is what we need to do and where we need to be, because he is the author and finisher of our faith. Okay? We can see that clearly is the case. All right, now I want to go to I'll get back to John. While I'm still in John, let's stay there for a minute, because let's go to John 15. I was right there in 15. I want to hit 20. So let's because I meant to get that. I did have that on my list here, so let me make sure I got that. In 20, remember that the word that I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Now that's important. The Mashiach had to go through what we can't even imagine. I mean, we hear stories, we didn't see it. Some of the apostles who were during that time saw it. But if he has to go through this, and he talked to the Father in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he didn't get an answer. The Most High didn't answer him. He just said, you're going to go through it. He made the motions. He was sweating blood in there about the cup that he had to take on for us. This is not a game. You can't play with this situation, okay? You either going to love the Most High above everything like Yahawashi did, because to sacrifice himself in the way that he did to fulfill the mission that he had to fulfill, or you're not. And I know that the Most High, from my understanding and reading and praying and worshiping and praising him, that he controls all things. That's beyond the shadow of a doubt. But I'm telling you, the Father's looking for a higher love. And this is what he's expecting us to provide. In this teaching, we're supposed to be doing that. And we have to do that, because we're not going to get out of this thing by a skate job. It's not going to happen. We got to go through some stuff, okay? And key is going through it and getting through it. And YAHAWASHI can take us through it. But we got to be able to be worthy of that. We have to show him how much we love him in order to be able to get through this, in order for us to make it. We do a lot of praying. But the heathens pray to their fake idols and gods. Okay? So Prayer is a communication vehicle, but you got to show the Father a higher love. You got to praise and worship Him. I mean, even the heathens do some worshiping and praising to their fake idols, which they make them from the creation that the Most High invented and brought forth into existence. They worship the creation, just like when they use the name Jesus Christ and Christ and all those other derivatives. Those are attached to an idolatrous process and blasphemous process. That's not the sacred name. You can't attach that to the Most High or the Son and think that that's going to get a pass. It's not. It's just not going to work. So you need to take that into grave consideration. All right. Now, we read from John. Now I'm going to go to Romans. I just wanted to make sure I got that point out. We have to go through. The key is going through it, getting through it. Okay, and we got to go through it. We can't get around it. We can't escape it. We're not going to get, unless you go to the spirit world and the Most High schedule to be out of here. We got to go through it. It's as simple as that. So don't you want to go through it with His blessing and His help and everything that He's offering? Of course you do. All right. Romans chapter 8. Okay, and we're going to go start at 29. So much in Romans I can do, but I think it's a good place that He gave me the Spirit to go through 8 and 29. Okay, so 8 and 29, and it reads, For whom He did foreknow, He also predestined, to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brethren. All right, so we know that all of our spirits were predestined to do what we're going to do and how we're going to perform it. And you're not going to get around it. Jonah couldn't get away from getting into the fish. You see what I'm saying? Jeremiah couldn't stop being a prophet. It's just that way. You already predetermined to do what you're going to do. Pharaoh couldn't even stop what the Most High did to use him. So we have to go through what we're going through. His prophetic process is perfect. You can't argue with that. Let me read 32. And it says, Moreover, whom He predestined, them He also called, and whom He called, He also justified, and whom He justified, then He also glorified. What shall we say then? Say to these things, if Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? That's what I'm saying. He'll get us through this. We know Jacob's trouble is coming. We know it's going to be tumultuous. But the Most High says He'll take us through this. So we have to start adding that to the content of our conversation when we're doing our lessons and when we're breaking down the judgments and the warnings. We reinforce the fact that the Most High is completely in charge. He's puppetized everything that He's got, that He's using in that fashion. He's always told you that the wicked is His sword. Roughly paraphrased, He said, when we say, protect me from the wicked, which is thy sword. Well, we know that. So we know if it belongs to Him, He can protect you from it. If it wasn't so, why are you asking? You see what I mean? So it's clear that that's the case. Okay, so that was Romans chapter 8:29. And I want to go now to 2 Corinthians, and I'm going to go to 3:18, 3 and 18. And it reads, But we all with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord YAHAWASHI, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of YAHAWASHI, right? So clearly, this is what we're looking for, what we're waiting for, what we're striving for, what we're striving in the body of Hamashiach, to get that glory and get that change, like those 4 and 20 elders that sit on the throne. I always bring that up. The praise and worship they're doing. They've got spiritual bodies. They've got everything that they could imagine. And they still are so humble and so lovingly fearful of the Most High that they get down and they continue to praise. They're probably still down praising. It has a timeline in heaven, right? So that's a factor. Okay, 2 Corinthians, we did 3:18. I'm going to go to 2 Corinthians 2:14 from here. And it reads, Now thanks be unto Yahweh, which always causeth us to triumph in Hamashiach and maketh manifest the Savior of his knowledge by us in every place. I want to read that one again. That's fire. See, that tells you how we can get through the tribulation, isolation, and all the things that are coming. All right. I mean, I love it. I just love what I'm hearing when I hear that statement in 14. Now thanks be unto Yahawah, which always causeth us to triumph in Hamashiach. So we win, okay? And maketh manifest, which means you're going to see it happen, the Savior of his knowledge. And that's why you have to have the mind of Hamashiach to operate in this. Mirror Hamashiach, right? By his knowledge by us in every place. So that means wherever you go, whatever's happening, if you are predestined to be protected by YAHAWASHI through Hamashiach and the angels, you are going to be protected. And that's without the shadow of a doubt. You don't even have to worry about it, right? Let's see. I want to go to 5:17. Go Corinthians 5:17. And it reads, therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. Behold, all things become new. Right? Now, we need to see this because a lot of times it's not as apparent as we would imagine. You look at a lot of the Akim and a lot of the brothers and a lot of the people who claim to be in the truth, and we see remnants and similitudes of when they seem to have been in the world, and in certain moral mannerisms that they are still using, because there's still a process of conversion that is taking place. Just like we're babies in this truth and we're learning and we're growing to become more proficient in doing what YAHAWASHI said we should do. But we also have to understand this is a process. We're growing. And a lot of times, where we grow up becomes rude and crude to our behavior, and we have to be polished like a rough diamond. You get a diamond out of the earth when you unearth it. It's beautiful. It's a real diamond. It's awesome. It's there. But when you polish it up, fix it up, clean it up, get it right, and present it, you're like, wow, it doesn't look anything like it used to. Diamonds in the rough that need to be polished up, sure, there's a lot of us that are like that, myself included. I mean, hey, it's just the way it is. But that conversion needs to be brought forward, and that's what we should be looking forward to acquiring when we go into that process, right? All right, so it says, that's why 17 says, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. 18, and all things are under Yahawah, who hath reconciled us to himself by Yahawashi Hamashiach, and hath given to us the ministry of reconciliation. That's important. If you're going to reconcile something and you've been given a ministry of reconciliation, you had to have something before that's associated with it, that's attached to it. That's how you reconcile something. It comes back. Now, when it comes back, it's supposed to come back better. And if it comes back better, that means there has to be a conversion. So if you're going to be reconciled, you can't be reconciled and still be the old person you were before you were in the truth as you are. The reconciliation also has to bring the conversion. Without the conversion, there is no reconciliation. Case in point, right? I mean, right on point, right? Now we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 2:10, and I'm going to pull up 5 as well, and we'll get to it. Okay, Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 10. This is one of our favorites, right? This is one of the things that the brothers always bring out, and I feel love for this passage too. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10. For we are his workmanship. Okay, and he can't do anything that's wrong. So we are his workmanship, created in Hamashiach, Yahawashi, unto good works, not wicked works, not bad works, not bugged out works. Okay, okay, which Yahawah hath before ordained, predestination again, right? That we should walk in them, meaning you have to do it. I've said many times over and over again, you have to do the commandments you can do. Don't just know them, do them. You gotta. That's how you practice something. You have to do it. Okay. 11. Wherefore remember ye that being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, right? Let me not walk past that. Like I spoke before, there's many different renditions of what Gentiles mean, all the way back from ethnos, nations, all the areas that bring in what a Gentile could refer to in context. And a lot of times, wacky tackies always confuse and mix up the context. And then sometimes Hebrew Israelites do the same thing because they don't take time to study and break down and go back to historical passages and find out what it means. Sakari always talking about exegesis and something. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's true. You need to do things of that nature. You need to go and make sure that you break down those things in a manner that gives you the right context so that you understand it. That's one of the problems that we find, that when Esau got a hold of our documents, which have nothing to do with him, in our righteous scriptures, he did so many things to he was allowed to do so many things to try to carve himself into the process of our heritage and our scriptures. It still doesn't come together and work. Even when you go into these Texas Receptus and various different renditions that they use through the Septuagint and what have you, it still doesn't match up to the breakdowns that would follow in terms of how it has to go. But again, this is part of the process that the Most High has brought forward as a stumbling block for those that are spiritually blocked. And I did my lesson on spiritual blockage. You need to look it up and check that out. Okay, we're getting ready to wrap this up soon here. We only got a couple more precepts to go with. Okay, and then we're going to finish out with, of course, Hebrews 12 too. All right, and then let's go to 5. So I want to go to Ephesians chapter 5 and 1 and 2. Be ye therefore followers of Yahawah as dear children. See, children are always willing to learn. They're always in a capacity in the process to be taught and learn. If you think you know everything, then you're not operating as a child and accepting YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI in the kingdom of heaven. I am a child in this. I know I'm a babe. I'm trying to grow as best the Most High through the RAWCHAA QADASH allowing me to grow. And I got a lot of work and a lot of lot to go, a lot more to go. And I hope we're out of here soon, but I still want to learn as much as I can to move forward. And that's the way we should be walking. Okay. And that's important too. Walks right into that. And walk in love as Hamashiach also hath loved us and hath given himself for us as an offering and sacrifice of Yahawah and power for a sweet smelling savor. See, and that's how it works. When Yahawah, BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, smells that sweet savor of the sacrifice of Yahawah, he could look upon us, and maybe some of our sins will be forgiven, and we'll be able to move forward in life. You know what I'm saying? That's what's important, right? And as well as in death. John 15 is where I want to go next. John chapter 15. I'm not sure. And I want to read 20. And it says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If any have persecuted me, they also persecute you. If they keep my sayings, they will also keep yours. I had to go back to that because that's very important. We're not going to get out of this without being touched. And when we do get touched, we got to be able to get through it. And that's a very important factor for us to understand, because if we do not understand that, we're going to have a lot of trouble in our lives. We really are. Okay. Luke chapter 6, and I want to go to 40, and I'm going to read 40 and 46. The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. Okay. And then down to 46, and it says, and why call ye me Lord, Lord, and not do the things which I say? That's why we have to operate within the body of Hamashiach, and we have to allow him. He has to be, not allow, but he has to be who is the author and finisher of our faith. That's what's most important in reference to this. From here, I want to go, and I'm getting ready to wrap it up here, to Hebrews chapter 12. Okay? Because that's just beautiful. Hebrews 12:2. Okay. All right. And it says, for if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense of reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at the first began to be spoken by the Lord, and has confirmed unto us by them that hear him? For Yahawah also bearing them witness, both with signs and wonders, and with divers miracles and gifts of the RAWCHAA according to his own will. Okay? So we can see that we have to operate within the confines of YAHAWASHI and the body of YAHAWASHI as the Most High sent him forth to do this, to bless us and offer us this grace only to us. So we have to be diligent in every way to make sure that we do this, because he is the author and finisher of our faith. That's all we have. Why would you want anything more? You really should not, because there is no more than have YAHAWASHI be the author and finisher of your faith. I hope you'll enjoy this lesson. I hope it was edifying to you and brought to your spirit that you know you need to praise, worship, and pray more, harder, stronger, and share that same vigilant feeling throughout everything that you do. It will definitely be of value to you. It's your brother Obadiah Yahweh Command. And if he brings me out to bring another one, if we don't get out of here before then, then so shall it be. Anyway, there it goes. Because I love the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's why I always sing to him, call hello Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Bashim Ruach QADASH. THAWADAH Yahweh.